Good morning, guys. Leon here, and good morning, business owners. So slightly earlier than normal, so starting at 8 a.m. today instead of 8:30. Why? Because I got stuff planned in, and I've got to adjust my schedule to accommodate the things that I need to do in my life. But if you're with me live, welcome. If you're watching this on a replay, give me a hashtag replay, and I'm equally excited that you're here. Had a tough night actually, and I guess my fiance had a tougher night. My daughter wasn't sleeping particularly well. My 5-month-old daughter. Tell you what, whenever you're in business or just going through life, you realize how challenging life can be when you don't get enough sleep. It's easy to realize how much sleep is important to you when you need it most. But anyway, tell that to a 5-month-old daughter. So today I'm talking specifically about what you can do to set up your week ahead. That's the title for today's broadcast. And I guess if you're anything like me as a business owner, there's a lot of things that you go through. There's some great times and there's some equally challenging times. And I guess early in my career, there was a lot more challenging times that were happening to me. And I guess they were happening because of me. But it's one of those things. It's a natural thing. You're trying to figure your way, around life, around your business, and to move you forward. And I remember I was always looking for what's the silver bullet, what's the thing that's going to make this week the week, what's going to take things to the next level. And I can honestly tell you, as I've gone from, I guess, my late teens, 20s, right the way through to 30s to now being 40, less is more. Yeah. And over the years, in my 20s, I would kind of give myself the pat on the back for all the different things I was doing. I was kind of like a multi-tasker, plates in the air, juggling. I was managing many different things, and I was proud of myself. But the further I got in business, I realized that I need to stop having so many plates in the air. And what I needed to do is focus down and get really crystal clear on what it is that I wanted to achieve, what things were important, as opposed to what I thought was important. And I guess that's how what I'm going to explain today in terms of how you can use what I will share with you to set up your week ahead. Because I guess, if you're in business, if you're an established business owner, you may be a bit privy to some of this information. You kind of know some of the things that, accelerate you towards the wins when you've won in business. There's going to be some other things where you're unconscious to the behavior of what you're doing in life and in business. And some of these are the things that will hold you back. And it's both, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing in the sense that you're going to be unaware of these things. The curse is when you become aware and you're like, I made some really crappy, shitty mistakes, and I need to correct course, and I need to change things so that I can do what's necessary. So I prepared some slides for you this morning. I don't usually prepare slides on a Sunday, but I prepared something because I wanted to give you some context as to what you can apply in your life and business, and hopefully you'll find it useful. If you got any questions, guys, remember, drop your questions in the comments. I will come to any comments or questions that you do have. And if you have got anything specific you want to ask, even if you're watching this on a replay, drop it in the comments. I will come back to all the comments. I do check these out. We're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on YouTube. And if this is the first time you have come across one of my live streams, welcome. I'm Leon Street, aka the Visionary Marketing Coach, and I help business owners to take their business to the next level. So with that being said, let me load up these slides, what I want to share with you. Where are we? So just about to share my screen, guys. So share screen. Now let's find this slideshow. Where are we? PowerPoint slideshow. There we are. So hopefully that should be on screen. There it is. And I wanted to start off with a quote, and this comes from I guess a poem from Marianne Williamson. It's Our Greatest Fear. And our greatest fear, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And it's actually, this is just an outtake of a longer part of this full poem. It's also famously used in the film. I don't know if you've seen the film, guys, Coach Carter with Samuel L. Jackson. Great film, actually. It's about a basketball sports team, but it shows the transformation of them pretty much being an average basketball team to becoming a team that make it all the way to the finals in their particular league or their state league. And it's a really great film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You'll learn a lot in there about what it takes to overcome your fears and win. And this is how you set up your week, guys, because usually if you're looking to the week ahead, you're going to look at it, I guess let's just be polarizing here. You're going to look at it in two ways. You're going to look at it as, you know, it's your week to attack and win. Yeah. Or you're going to look at it with dread, and you're going to look at it with like, oh shit, I've got stuff that I haven't done this week that I still need to finish next week. Or I've got problems coming up, or I've got customers I need to keep happy. And you're going to look at it from a negative stance. And I guess in setting up your week, that's pretty much where you need to be mentally, because in business, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of skills that you're going to have to learn and you're going to have to upskill with. There's a lot of things. If you're not doing, let's say, 100,000 or multiple six figures, yeah, and you're on your way, you know, to that next level, there's going to be a lot of things that will challenge you, and it's going to seem like you're stuck in mud, yeah, and it's like the wheels are spinning, but you're going nowhere. And so for me, if you want to set up your week, the first thing is you've got to set up you. You've got to set up your mindset. You've got to set up the way that you approach life, the way that you approach business. There's this saying that I use in my business and that I share with my clients, which is called being above the line. And so if you imagine a imaginary line going across the screen right now, yeah, and below the line, excuse me, below the line, you have all of the things that would set you up for a shitty week, crap, negative. So you'd have blame, excuses, and denial. So if you spell that, it spells, or sound it out, spells bed, B-E-D. So when you're below the line, you're effectively in bed. Yeah, you're not in a place where you're setting yourself up to win. You're setting yourself up to be mediocre at best. And I say this with, even if you're an experienced business owner, you're setting yourself up for mediocre results compared to what's possible. Just like what the quote says on the screen right now. It's our lightness, it's our light, sorry, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Our light, and the light is what you want to achieve, the results, the vision that you have, the goal that you have. And you know, for me, setting yourself up for success it's an important step, because what I'm going to share with you on the next few slides, you're going to see why. Because as humans, we're wired for negative. We're wired to protect, and protect can mean defense. So if you're in, you know, sports like basketball, football, you know, you've got to defend the ball, or you've got to get into defense to defend against the other team. And unfortunately in life, we're wired that way from the off. We're wired that way to protect, you know, fight, flight, or freeze. And that's that's a new word, actually, it's the normal way that your body reacts to protect and preserve itself, i.e. you. And because it's wired that way, it doesn't necessarily set you up for, you know, a great week ahead, or even, you know, a great outlook. And I want to share with you what you can do. So let me give you some kind of facts behind this. So don't you just taking it for fact, where, you know, because I used to hear it all the time. Yeah, we're wired for negativeness and, you know, fight, flight, freeze, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of just take it on board and you kind of brush it off. Well, me anyway, you may be different. So I like to research things. So I dug deeper into this, and I thought, let me find out a bit more about this, because, you know, I don't want to just take this kind of bullshit stuff that I keep hearing people talk about being negative, because I just wasn't in that space. I was always being a very positive person. Don't get me wrong, I have been depressed before, but, you know, I still had hope, let's say. But let me get to the science in this, and let me know if you're similar, if you have a positive outlook. If you have a positive outlook, drop a positive as a comment. If you don't have a positive outlook, don't comment. Now you can, if you want, you can put negative. and hopefully you'll get some value out of what I'm going to share. So in 2005, the National Science Foundation published an article regarding research about human thoughts per day. So the average person has about 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. And this is something I share quite regularly when I do workshops, whether online or in person, when we could do those. And of those, 80% of those thoughts are negative, and 95% are exactly the same repetitive thoughts as the day before. So when you're trying to set up your week ahead, this is why it's so important that you've got to have this positive outlook to begin with, because you're wired to be negative. And most of us who are not even aware of this are repeating 95% of our thoughts from the day before. So if you're constantly in this loop of this is never going to happen, this is never going to happen, or, oh, woe is me, or life is shit, I can never get anything done. It's like, it's all fucked. Like, that's how we're wired, guys. And this is science. This is the National Science Foundation who did this research. So that's what you're up against. You're up against yourself. So actually, when people say that quote, and I use this, the only person you're in competition with is you, trying to be better than you, so that today you're better than you were yesterday. It's true, because you're wired for negative as humans, biology. Yeah. So you've got to go beyond that. You've got to go higher. So what are the consequences when you're in this space of a negative outlook? Well, with no vision, you're living in the past. You're automatically wired to live in the past. And it obviously is not a great outlook, and a lot of people don't realize this. They think, I can just be in business and keep plodding along. And you're different. Yeah, you're different, because I know you want to set up your week ahead. You want things where you're winning. And for me, it's a really important step for you to win. So what's the next thing? You start your day in the past. Imagine starting your day in the past and you don't even know. You're on autopilot. I remember I used to say that sometimes. Yeah, I'm on autopilot. I'm just going. But I was on autopilot without reprogramming the program at the beginning of every day. I wasn't resetting, because remember, 80% of your thoughts are negative and 95% are from yesterday. So if you're not resetting and thinking like, well, what is the goal? What's my outlook? You're just living in the past, guys. And it might sound strange, but it's true. The science shows it. So you'll be predictable in life. Your results probably won't get much further forward, and you'll be thinking, why my days keep rolling into other days, and it just feels shit, keeps feeling like the same thing, Groundhog Day. So if your thinking is equal to your environment, you'll never grow. So you can't let what's going on around you and internally in your mind, be the highest that you'll ever think. You won't think beyond that. You won't be thinking, oh yeah, maybe I can hit six figures or multi six figures or seven figures. You really have to lock into that. You can't be the kind of person who just says, it'll never happen to me. What's the point in planning the next week ahead? But I'm going to share with you. So here's what happens when you do come from this higher place. You'll be like Shaquille O'Neal. Anxiety, drama, bad vibes, negativity. You'll be able to just swat them out of the sky like no one's business. So, hopefully you see that as a bit of humor. I love me a good meme and a GIF combined. So let's look at this. But how is it possible then, if you want to set yourself up for success? To be visionary, you must think greater than your environment. As I said, you've got to think, where do I want to be? What is the goal for the week ahead? Yeah. How does that goal for the week ahead relate to your overall vision for where you want to be, let's say, in the next 90 days, the next 6 months, or the next year? Yeah. However further forward you want to plan. If you're somebody who thinks in the kind of longer term, 3 to 5 year plan, you might be working that plan leading up to that end result where you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years, even 10 years. Yeah. You might have this greater vision. But you've got to be there, and you've got to understand that all the weeks count. I can't remember it is, but when you start looking at your life, so for instance, I'm 40 right now. I expect that, in my journey, I'm going to work for the next 40 years, not because I'll need to, but because it's something I'm passionate about. I just love doing what I do. Yeah. I love helping people, especially business owners. I do help people who aren't just business owners. I help other people who just reach out to me for help. Yeah. But I know for the next 40 years, I'll be actively doing those things. Yeah. But then when I look at my main career, like for instance, I've got a 10-year plan that I'm working right now until I'm 50. So in order to make that happen, every week's got to count. If the weeks don't count, then I'm taking life for granted. And I guess I had probably one of the biggest ways to look at life for me early on was when my father died. My father was 29. Yeah, I'm 40 now, and so for me, I was 11 at the time, but it was what it was a wake up call to say to me, and this is how I look at it, Leon, don't waste the years, don't waste the weeks, don't waste the days, make it count. There's some days where I'm having a really shitty day, and I'm thinking, was that the best that I could have done with that day? Yeah, and some days, the environment gets the better of you, and then there's some days where perhaps you didn't quite achieve what you wanted to do, but you did some good, and that's what you got to take on that day. Yeah, those days do happen. So I'm not trying to shy away from you setting up your week, and there's going to be setbacks and different things. Things are going to happen, things that you don't expect, because most of the time your life involves other human beings, and they're all unpredictable, and so you can't account for everything. So be visionary. That's what I'd say to you. How do you connect to your vision then? So there's different things you can do. So some people do meditation or prayer. So the thing is, your job is to disconnect from the outward experience of your eyes, your ears, touch, how you feel in your stomach, gut feeling, all that, and be present in all time and space. Because remember, you're wired for negativity. So if you're not doing something to kind of center yourself, to get back to who you truly are without all the baggage, all the drama, all the bullshit, you'll keep repeating 95% of yesterday, remember? So there's science to this. So there's different things you can do, like journaling. So, here's some examples of my journals. And I share this with you because a lot of people who, they go through life and they kind of bullshit themselves into thinking like, yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great. And they're not changing anything. And I've just shared with you the science around, how you can change things so that you can improve things for the better. And this is something that I actively do. I journal, I write my goals down. And some people say, oh, you shouldn't write those things down, or affirmations. But what you got to understand is what you're doing is reprogramming your brain. If you get into biology, when you create new thoughts, you create something called neural pathways. And these are the kind of roads, the channels for information to be transported through your brain so that you understand how to do things, or you understand how things work. And there's a lot of people who they don't change. They don't change because they don't know how to change, or they don't change because that pathway they've created is so rigid, it's so old and so antiquated that they can't go beyond it. And sometimes they need a mega jolt in their life, and sometimes that jolt can be something dramatic happening in their life, something terrible. It can be anxiety, it can be depression, it can be something really bad, like this pandemic, what we went through, being locked in your house for months and blah blah blah. But sometimes that's what's necessary in order for people to get that wake up call. But journaling is a great way because you reset every day. Every day you're writing down something, I guess, that's going to lead you towards your vision, your goals, and it puts you in the best place possible. Does anybody journal who's watching this right now? Yeah, let me know if you journal. I don't journal per se just to say what's happening in my day. I put down what my goals are. I put down what my vision is. I put down what my fears are. I put down what my actions are going to be. That's how I journal. Yeah. And it's important to put down, let's say, your fears or your reality of your current situation, because you become honest with yourself. You don't bullshit yourself, and being honest with you is one of the greatest things you can do, to be real, not to feel like you've got to show up in any particular way other than you. And for me, it's a key thing to really focus on. The next thing in terms of how you can set your week up is, some people create vision boards because the way that they engage in communication and learn and what they take on board, they're visual. Yeah. So if you've got a vision board, do you check your vision board? Are you ticking off what you want to achieve on your vision board? So this isn't my vision board. This is just an example, but I do have one. And every so often I'll look at it, and I guess there's about 25% on my vision board right now that has been achieved. And when I was younger, I used to understand, like, why people did vision boards, but I didn't really understand, how much they impact your subconscious as well. And what you're doing effectively, these different things I'm sharing with you, you're setting up the environment for you to win. You're setting the environment up because You don't want to repeat the bullshit of yesterday, negative experience, and you want to set yourself up for a great experience. And so for me, when you look at all these different tools and assets that you do have available, you're using them for you. Everybody responds to different things, whether journaling, whether meditating, vision boards, walking in nature. What I love to do, especially with the weather being great, I just love to walk on the grass in my garden. No socks on, no shoes on, just walk on the grass. Connect me to Mother Nature. Yeah, I find it's just a really good experience just to be around nature. I like, when I do have the opportunity, every now and again, nearby where I live, we have these pools and some trees and a kind of path. If I take my daughter there for a walk while she's asleep in the pushchair, or my other kids are with me, I like doing stuff like that as well. And when I go on a bike ride with my son who's 13, that's cool because usually I take him on a trail where there is trees, there is nature, and I don't know, just it feels right because at the end of the day, we are connected to everything. No matter what you believe, whether you believe in religion or you're just spiritual or whatever. So this is what I'm sharing with you guys. It's about you finding what's right for you to set up your environment so you can focus on how you're going to set up your week ahead. So this is another one. If you really want to take things to the next level, get yourself a coach. All of these famous people you see on this screen right now, they're all a coach and they're with their mentee or their mentees with their coach. So if you look at some of these famous people, look at that Oprah with Maya Angelou, that was her mentor. Richard Branson with Sir Freddie Laker, that was his. You got Michael Jordan, where Phil Jackson was his coach on his team. I mean, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players ever. Warren Buffett, and you got Bill, from Microsoft, Bill Gates. You've also got there, look at that, Mark Zuckerberg, owner of Facebook, with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was his mentor. Rob McCracken was or is the coach of Anthony Joshua, world heavyweight champion boxer. Usain Bolt with his coach Glenn Mills, and then you've got Serena Williams with Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins, her coach, mental coach. And the point I'm getting to here is, guys, that if you want to set your week up and you can't find your way through to success, reach out to somebody. This is where I help people, help business owners who are looking for their ways for them to win. So, these are some of the insights in terms of what you can do. So let me just stop sharing for a moment. So here's the other thing, guys. One of the other things, if you're going to set your week up, you need to plan. Yeah, it's very simple. And I'm going to share one more thing with you. I'm just going to get it on screen and I will share that with you. And this will be the final piece because this is how, I set up my week ahead. I get clear on what my vision is. I get clear on what my goals are. And then from there, I then focus down on how am I going to plan the week? Yeah. And the way that I plan my week is look at it from Monday to Sunday, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. And this, what I'm going to share with you on the screen, comes from reading the famous book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And this was by Stephen Covey. And really great book. And from there, I took this particular tool that he talks about, which is this weekly schedule. And so if you've seen this on screen, which you should be at the moment, I'll make the screen a bit bigger so you can see more of this. So if you look at this, you can see here the weekly schedule. And this is something that I use where I print it off. And on the left-hand side, you'll see the roles. And these are all the roles that you have in life, in your business and life. So there's like an example on there, salesperson. And you can see next to roles, the next column is goals. And you can see for that role as a salesperson, need 5 sales meetings or calls. And then the weekly priorities. And so in there, you can put down what your priorities are. And so I use this so that I can map out going from Sunday when I'm planning my week ahead. So this is what I use to plan my week ahead. And the cool thing about this is when you look at this schedule, is it starts from the moment I wake up. So you can see there from 6 a.m. So there's different times that I'll wake up throughout the week depending on sleep pattern. So like last night, I didn't have a particularly great night's sleep because my daughter was up at 11. She went back to sleep and then she woke up again. She didn't sleep. My fiance then she took her in the other room because she just wouldn't sleep. And so one of us need to get some sleep because we both got a lot going on today. And then she was up again at 4, yeah, and then she was up again at what, 7:15 or something like that. So you've got to be able to account for the different variations. But here's the cool thing: you can see on each day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right through to Saturday, there is today's priorities. Put in 3 priorities for each of your days. Yeah, 3 priorities, because that way it'll get you to focus on what you've got to get done as the priority for that day. But put in the time for you being a parent, time for you being a business owner, time for you being the salesperson, the marketer, the accountant, if you have to do your accounts or submit information to your accounts, the bookkeeper, doing different things, I guess like admin, different marketing aspects, creating videos, just like I'm doing now. All of these things are going to factor into you winning. So this is what I use in order to be effective. And the cool thing about this, when I'm sharing you the weekly schedule, you can see on the bottom left here, sharpening the saw. So sharpening the saw are what are the key things you've got to put into your week to improve. So for me, it's reading usually 1 book. Yeah. Spirituality, making sure that I meditate and focus on my vision. There's different things like physical. So physical exercise, I usually do press ups and sit ups every day. When the gyms are open, I do a lot more because I'll be at the gym 3 times a week as well for about 2 hours. So the whole point is, if you want to set your week up for you to win, this week, plan it. Yeah. If you plan what you're going to do, you're going to have a greater chance of being a success. And that's what most people foul on. If you want to get this weekly planner, guys, just go to this link on the screen. You can download it for free. So just go to leonstreet.com/weekly planner and set your week up for success. Just print one off every week, plan your week in advance on a Sunday, and plan your wins. Don't plan your failures, plan your wins. That's what you're doing. You're setting yourself up to go to that next level. So with that being said, that's the main parts of what I wanted to share with you today, guys. Success is, it's all of the little wins added up. It's all of the 1% that take you up to the 100%, the whole. And what I'd say to you guys is, you've got to go big. Look on my shirt here. Go big, guys. Plan your week ahead. Go to the next level. And don't dwell on the negative. We're wired for negative, and I'm guessing you guys want to make a success in your life. And hopefully what I've shared with you today is valuable. It's something that you can take forward with you. If you're struggling just in general in life or in business, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to listen to what your challenge is and perhaps give you some advice about what you can do or what you can focus on, or a way for you to look at things. No matter what you're going through, as bad as it may be or as good as it may be, there's always more for you to win. Everything in life is designed for you to win, but it's those who are courageous enough and can get beyond their ego actually do. Yeah, because it is a mental game, winning in life. So set yourself up for success by planning your way. The more that you can execute on the things that you want to do, the more that you're going to achieve what it is you want out of life. So hopefully that has made some sense. That has been of value, guys. This is your business Sunday morning wake up, and it's now 8:30. I'm about to finish now. Usually I'd start at 8:30, but we're finishing at this time today, guys, because I've got to hand over the room to my fiance, who's got a full day workshop to deliver. So guys, thanks for watching. If you watch this on the replay, remember to drop your comments and questions below in a comment, and I'll be back next Sunday. I'll also be back on Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday 8:30 p.m. in the evenings. It's where I go more into marketing, sales, and business development. So make sure you jump on a Wednesday evening as well. I'd love to see you there. But Sundays are more about connecting with you guys. So everybody who's jumped on, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a blessed week, and I hope you set your week up for success, guys. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.